David, not good news out of Toyota. We're going to be chatting to Terry O'Donoghue in a little bit, but if we look at the markets, a pretty good day on the markets worldwide. On a day, the IMF saying global growth going to be about 0.5%.
That wasn't the big story. The big story is Obama's stimulus package, which hopefully will go through Congress today, and also reports that he may introduce what they're calling a bad bank or a fund that will take a lot of these dodgy assets away from financial institutions and banks. And, by taking it off their balance sheets, you give them a bond or an instrument that they can then that the banks can then go negotiate in the market. It's guaranteed type bond. It's almost like U.S. Treasury bonds.
But now, wasn't this what the Troubled Asset Relief Program was supposed to do?
It was. There were so many details that are so difficult to understand, but hopefully we're going to get a lot more clarity, and once you get money into the banks, hopefully they'll start to lend. I still think that there's a lot more problems, that even though they start to lend, I think the US consumer will go into hibernation, will be very, very nervous to go out and spend, and that's really what you need is people to go out there, spend, and absorb all the excess capacity that's overhanging markets.
Just at the moment, don't spend it on a Yaris. By the sound
No. My mom's got a Yaris. It just struck me, yeah.
We'll find out about that. But if we look at some of the corporate news out, Santam trading update, earnings down 25 to 35%, but not as bad as Mutual and Federal.
I think what was impressive about the Santam update was that there's been a huge turnaround in the underwriting account. In other words, a massive recovery and a very, very good profit on that. So they've turned that around. Naturally,
but it is cyclical, though.
It is cyclical. But remember the last two halves they've had some shocking numbers out on the underwriting side. So that's a big turnaround. The investment side is down as well, but they've probably got out of equities, and that's what's dragged the profits down. But it's going to be interesting to actually see the actual results. Now it's a much better result in Mutual and Federal.
Supergroup shareholders are saying we're not going to let you buy any shares in the that was the one resolution they didn't pass at the AGM. Is that surprising to them?
No, I think if you look at the share price, I think it's a very, very troubled company. I think the share's trading around about 160 now, well below the rights issue. So all those companies that I think that follow the rights issues are still underwater. It's going to be a slow recovery, which will it's tied to the motor industry, logistics, and I think a lot of work done to turn that around.
Do you think this fiscal stimulus plan that they're trying to pass is going to work?
Something. If this one doesn't work, then we'll have another one. We'll keep doing it until it works. But it's going to be interesting to hear what Alex says from Davos, because just reading the reports that came out today, headed by and Mr. Manuel made headlines. I saw on Bloomberg some of the chaps were drinking booze in one of our hospitality areas, etc. So there's a big party happening there.
Drowning
at
of sorrows,
least we
probably
got some publicity. At least they called it a hospitality lounge or something like that. But it'll be interesting because most of the reports that have come out there have been exceptionally negative. And Trevor Manuel bemoaning the fate of Africa, saying that Africa's facing some huge challenges, mines being closed down, and also the funding. Governments finding it very, very difficult to find funding.
I suppose the at least the good point is that Africa is still on the consciousness, at least on the fringes of what's going on.
Well, we've made it that. I think the huge delegations that have come from Africa and so many other emerging markets have made their presence known. So, of course, you're going to notice them running around.